next-gen casino transactions, cashless gaming, digital wallets, and biometric security.
We've got a fabulous panel arranged for you. I'll introduce their names, but I don't think there's anybody who can better introduce themselves than themselves. So let's introduce myself firstly. I am Head of Gaming, Lottery and Esports. That's the full title at Nuvei. For people who don't know who Nuvei are, we're very long established within the gaming arena. We had our 21st anniversary this year. We are experts, and I'd like to think that we are the largest payment processor for regulated gaming in the world. So anybody interested in payment processing, we're your stop shop. Booth 1065, that's enough of the advertisement. So let me go and introduce the panel to you. Firstly, to my left, we have Jaguar. Jaguar, would you like to tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Hello, I'm Jaguar-Adva. I'm a lawyer and a CPA. I incorporate only high-risk companies, fintech, payments, gaming, gambling, AI, crypto companies, and then I take care of the licensing or legal opinion that you don't need a license, and then taxation, regulation, compliance, and the most important thing, payment solutions and banking. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. And then next to Jaguar, we have Richard. Richard, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Richard. I'm the founder of Xprizo. So we have a wallet solution primarily for emerging markets. So the goal of the company is to try to help with the unbanked populations of the world, but obviously we also have merchants of ours which are gaming companies, so hence why we're here today. Thank you.
Wonderful. And last but not least, we have Sergio. Sergio.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm the founder of Oxygia Consulting. In a nutshell, we help companies grow. So I embed in companies that are in transition phases, and advise top management, mentor middle management, and help with operations, strategy, and internationalization.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, we don't have very much time. These sessions are only 20 minutes, so I've got half a dozen questions or so. I'd like to circle around at the end if anybody does have a question, so we'll go and prompt that at the end. But to start, and just to go and remind you, as it says, next-gen casino transactions, cashless gaming, digital wallets, biometric security. So to start, guys, and Jaguar, this is for you with your regulatory and compliance hat on. I'd love to hear your opinion. What challenges are online and physical casinos facing when it comes to digital transactions and cashless payments? What do you think those are?
Well, listen, cashless transactions would mean either online ones. We know about online gaming, naturally. But then again, we will tackle either industries or sectors or geographies in which cash is more heavily used. These places would prefer going to physical casinos and places. So I'm taking this out of the consideration right now. But regarding even the iGaming one, the online ones, even these have to interact with either digital payments and then credit cards or debit cards and banking, and if they're new enough and technological enough, with digital wallets. Digital wallets have their challenges with some of the population not used to, not trusting this, or some of them too much of a preference to that because of its so-called anonymity. And then we tackle regulatory challenges. Regulation typically requires KYC, AML procedures, which require identifying the players, which could have been great to make sure they're over 18 or 21, to make sure they're well, not ill mentally, etc. But then again, a lot of digital wallets are anonymous, and they don't want to be recognized, not only for the bad reasons, but also for privacy. And if we promise to keep data privacy, they might not be willing either to trust our capabilities, our data security, or our interfaces with those digital wallets. So we have quite many challenges, technology one, lots of regulatory one, and system and banking financial ones.
Very good, thank you. You've raised some interesting points there, and I can see that Richard is champing at the bit to go and respond on the digital wallet ones. So I'm hearing familiarity, I'm hearing trust, adoption with the digital wallet.
Yeah.
You specialize in digital wallets. Help us understand what those challenges are.
Yeah, actually, Jaguar touched on a couple of points which are very critical here, right? So first of all, jurisdiction-wise, right? So you have different countries and even continents, I would say, which have their own challenges. Challenges of people which don't even have access to certain wallets that we consider obvious here in the West. And also trust, right? Because if you're used to your local ecosystem or cash and so on, and now all of a sudden you're asking someone to shift one of his primary things in life, which is how he's managing his money, right? So you need to go very, I would say, fundamental, even grassroots-wise, and then even look at how he's using those wallets in his day-to-day life, and then adopt that to the casino, right? Because if you're using your particular wallet to, I don't know, pay your school fees for your kids, then you trust that wallet already. So if the casinos are adopting things that are already working within that jurisdiction, then you get the trust, and they're also using a wallet which is comfortable within that jurisdiction. And then obviously the last thing you mentioned is compliance, AML, etc., which is very important, and it's also a reason why several communities remain unbanked to this day, right? Because once we took the one-size-fits-all approach of banks, we left millions of people unbanked. So when you're targeting a problematic jurisdiction, you need to be very, very sensitive of who you're dealing with and how you are actually approaching these people. And this is what we're trying to solve here as well at Xprizo, in fact.
Okay, thank you. So Sergio, just to complete the lineup, and you're very much a consultant, you look at strategies, technologies, and how to help grow businesses. Would you align with what's been said already?
Well, yes. In general, yes. I mean, I see sort of from a sort of eagle-eye point of view. I see this kind of battle that's going on between, you know, the world and you know, progress. You know, change is always difficult. You know, I see that there is this push, you know, worldwide. I mean, in Europe particularly, but you know, in many other regions.
So I was going to say, Sergio, sorry to interrupt you. That goes to where I wanted to go next with that, and you've started to lead into it. These challenges, how do they vary by regions and territories? Is that something you're familiar with?
Well, yes. I mean, you know, in general, when we look at where the world is going, there is a push for going cashless. I mean, I think from a global perspective, I think you know, governments and regulators see cash as something that is dangerous at this point, you know, and it's untraceable. While you know, a lot of people want that untraceability. So there is this duality, and you know, in some countries it's better done than others. You know, in Europe there's definitely this huge push for practically abolishing cash, and that also brings with it, you know, several technological hurdles, because you know, the more you are relying on technology, you know, the more you are introducing unknowns from the bad actors that are also in the technology space.
Okay, I can see Jaguar raising her mic, and I know that she also wants to say something here. So would you concur?
Well, first of all, I'd like to respectfully disagree with the fact that was said that we're talking with the players' most important thing in their life, which would be their money. And I would say that what's most important to players is not to feel an idiot, not to feel that they were fooled, that their data was breached, that they were utilized, because the money for most humans, for most people, it's just a meter. Just you have more, you have less. You play a lot. You take more risks. Gamers and players, take risks this way, and they lose some and they gain some. But what they don't want to feel is that they were used or utilized or came out scammed or whatever. So for that, in order to gain the trust of the players, I think the best thing would be to actually advertise and manifest how much, if the game is regulated, how much you're regulated, and to explain in so many words, as if there were sophomore students, we're doing this to protect you in that sense. We're asking for that data in order to protect you in whatever other sense. This is more of a marketing advice, but as a legal representative who works a lot vis-a-vis the regulators, I could say that marketing works well as sales and marketing, but it works fantastically to get a license, to get the regulators not tackle your business or to make it easier for you to either get a license or a legal opinion that you don't need a license to cover your back, I would say.
Okay, so I'm just thinking, so Richard, you actually have a digital wallet. So when we start talking about different regions, you reference the unbanked as well. So you're looking at emerging markets, one would think. What's your opinion?
Yeah, I think there's a... I'd like to answer this as well, just before divulging into that, because it's a very controversial discussion here when you're dealing with either cash or untraceability or traceability, right? Because what we're saying here is also that a regulator or a government has the rights to know what I'm doing with my money. And why does he want to know that, right? So many people say, okay, but someone has to control, but I would say, like, why? Right? So it's... so there's also that debate that, I mean, you can't escape it today.
The why is because there's a regulatory requirement to adhere to within that region. That's the why.
Yeah, but why is that in place? Is it because the government wants control of his people?
So what do you do? Are you looking at reforming the regulation? Do you comply?
No, I'm not. I'm just asking because people take it obvious that we should regulate people and put people where we want them to be, right?
It's to protect the public. That's the mission.
Yeah, but
they do it either
but
well
at the same
or
but
not.
At the same time, you're telling people what to do, and why do you have the right to do that?
There's the idea of like sort of the gilded cage, like sort of we're there's this tendency, in the name of protecting people, to need to know everything about them, basically.
Yeah, so many people want to know.
I think there's always like this balance,
Anyway,
and sometimes...
I can answer your question if you want me to.
Well, if you look at the regulators not as rivals, but as mates for the dance of that game, then you need to adhere to what they need. Like you adhere to players' needs and tastes and preferences, and we market to them.
Yeah.
So we need to market for regulators' tastes.
So can I interrupt? Sorry.
Yeah.
Are we suggesting, or Richard, are you suggesting that self-regulation is sufficient?
I'm not saying that, but sometimes when you try to over-regulate or tell people what to do, how to do it more, you're creating even more black market.
Okay.
Right? Why do you think all these gray market and black market operators are the ones which are actually making a lot of money?
I would say that actually that there is some truth in that. I think that
I think it's very true.
That there is a lot of truth in humans' ability to self-regulate. I think that it's always and this is something that I say a lot. It's always about balance. Because
so I'm conscious on time, and I want to just to go and expand on this point. When we start talking about, I think we've touched on trust. We're talking about traceability, is what I've heard as well, and regulation are key themes coming out from this, which I didn't think we were going to go down. But what are the actual technical solutions that help operators mitigate against these?
I can answer because I don't want to sound like we're not adhering to regulation here, right? I mean, we have to, because if we want to be licensed, we have to be there.
Yeah, we're talking...
don't necessarily...
This is supposed to be about cashless gaming
exactly.
And understanding
so
how we move forward.
We're pushing now users going from cash and local small ecosystems into a cashless society, even with our own business, right? And we're doing it in a way where we anyway understand who that person is where that person is, including to geolocating each and every transaction, right? So we went even further.
Okay.
But at the same time, I still feel that we're actually overstepping people's privacy doing that. But the regulators oblige us to do that, and if we want to have a business, we have to do it that way, maybe not because we want to, or if we are able to, but because we have to. Right?
Okay.
And we are doing it because we have to. Not,
But it's getting that balance right. Jaguar, I feel like you want to come in again.
So if that's a bitter pill, we have to give the players and the clients. So just coat it with sugar. In what way? If we have to do it, we have to KYC them, we have to recognize them, etc., and follow them and see with the IP addresses, etc. The only way to deal with it, if we can't avoid it, is either be not regulated. It's a choice for a lot of the sector, a lot of the industry. But if you choose to be regulated, then coat it with marketing and brag with it that we are regulated. We're doing this to protect you, and each and every step of the way of recognition, etc., you market it and you put it as in order to do this for you. And we're doing this to protect that part. We're doing this to avoid that part. Just coat it. You people are great sales and marketing people. The industry is one of the best in its sales and marketing. Then coat that peel. You do it much better than any other one.
That's the only way to do it.
I was going to say, before the four of us stepped on stage, we were having a very interesting chat about Elon Musk. Then we started talking about social media and marketing and AI. Coming back to the technology solutions to go and underpin this. So without going down the regulatory route, I was going to say AI, blockchain technology. When we start talking about cashless, you've got your wallet. I don't know what underpins that, Richard, but I don't know. Maybe let's, Sergio, just to give you the opportunity to speak a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I think, AI, blockchain, they're way over talked about, I mean, there's a lot going on. You cannot go to a panel without, hearing these terms. But I do think that they will be an underpinning of future society. As we were talking, before, the whole point of these technologies is how you use them.
So how do we help facilitate? How do we help facilitate this transition to these new technologies if they are the right route?
Well, transition is always a difficult journey. It goes. I always, look at society as a pendulum. So you're always going from one extreme to the other, trying to find the balance, basically.
Okay, Jaguar, I'm conscious we're going to run out of time. I have one more question for you all, and maybe one from the audience. Jaguar, you've raised your mic again. You clearly have an opinion on this.
Well, listen, guys. There's nothing that is not AI enabled nowadays. If you think it's not there, it just means that you can't recognize it, all right? So we should leave the part that is AI affecting something, because it used to be like 20 years ago, when I was only 4 years old, kidding, so that it was like the internet is getting somewhere. Like today we're not talking about the internet is somewhere. The internet is everywhere. It's part of the being, the existence, right? So let's assume AI is part of existence, and then there's AI Act, the EU AI Act that is coming into place, and now it is adopted in each country, in each phases, just like it used to be 10 to 15 years ago, before and when GDPR was getting into in action and into force. And it came in 2018, which is only 6 years ago, but now everything is GDPR rated, right? So, and everything is going to be AI acted in that sense. So, building a code AI enabled already.
I don't mean to interrupt, but well, I do. I can see that our clock is ticking down. I do have one more question for you, and I'd like to open it if there are any questions from the audience. But my last question for you is I want you all to go and look at your crystal ball. So I'd like you to go and predict the future. So what do you think is going to happen within the near, longer term to go and help us transition to more of a cashless gaming society? And we were talking about multi-channel. just, Nuvei at this moment in time, we do retail payments, we do online payments, but we're rolling out omni-channel as well, the interactivity and understanding that user journey, irrespective to how they may have first touched that player. So what do you think? Tell us what's happening in your crystal ball with regards to the future. And Sergio, you go first.
I think the main thing will be integration. Integration of everything. Identity integrated into banking, into payments, into our lifestyle, into everything. So, we're going into a place where our identity will be, like sort of on a card, essentially, and everything will be stored in one place.
A digital card in a chip in your brain.
Well, that's the next step. I don't know if,
Okay, we're over time. So Richard, let's go to Richard.
Yeah, I think there will be a complete integration with the bodies. In fact, eventually, we don't even would carry anything. So we'll just think something or move a hand and payment is done, or say something, payment is done. We're already calling our Alexas and our Series at home, right? So we're just saying, pay this company 1, 2, 3, boom, payment done. That's it. So there will be no more phones, no more debit, credit cards, no more e-wallets. We'll all be gone. Eventually.
Okay. Your business is shut down overnight.
No, our business will just change.
All right. Okay.
So
Adapt, modify.
I'll be putting some chips into
last
your
question. Okay.
body now.
Thank you. Last question to finish off with Jaguar.
Well, here I fully agree with that. Face recognition is already there. Voice recognition is there.
Yeah.
Biometric recognition is already there. We just don't label it that way, but it is already there. And then I think you're doing omni payments with Nuvei, right? So you're doing this as a multi-level phase that you combine all of them together, right? So maybe even you can say what would be the newer phase in your multi-channel payments solutions. For me, I think that everything will be AI regulated, and I advise that. So it's a fantastic world for me. And pay note on this, because this will age well, the recording. In 10 years from now, we'll be talking about the next new thing. So AI is going to be part of our life, biometric recognition quite as much. And I think Nuvei has some solutions to that, don't you?
We do. As I say, we've got a very exciting, as I said earlier, we're talking about launching, or we have launched our pilot omni-channel solution. So that's very exciting for us. We're looking at blockchain technology to go and look at cross-border payments as well. This is something which is currently a concept which we're piloting as well. So that's interesting. If you're interested in that, speak to me afterwards. So there's lots of initiatives we've got our fingers in. We are over time, and before I get taken off the stage, there's no stupid questions. We've got an expert panel here. Is there anybody who would like to ask a question that might have been spawned by what's been discussed? No? Okay.
Warren, I'm going to encourage you, because I'm pretty sure that everybody's got a question, but they're going to ask you once you're off the stage.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, you can be brave, ask me off the stage, or ask me now. Here's your chance.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. What an amazing panel, Warren. I really enjoyed that panel discussion.
You say that to everybody, I'm sure.
No, I don't. I actually don't. It was extremely lively, and I thought there was going to be a bit of a punch-up.
Yeah.
That's why I enjoyed it. It was like an MMA fight right here happening on the stage. Thank you very much indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please put our hands together for Warren and his panel? Thank you ever so much indeed.